expert on all things related to the Murdaugh murders, crime, and corruption saga, as well as the ongoing drama surrounding Colleton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill. Jen, there's another big week on this story. We had Becky Hill firing back. Actually, she fired back in August, according to the date on the document that you were able to obtain from your network of sources down there in the Low Country. Jen, walk us through Becky Hill's response to the ethics complaints against her.
So, first and foremost, Becky Hill denies the allegations, saying that they are untrue and part of a larger conspiracy against her, which I thought was really interesting. There were 2 complaints filed, and she was responding to both of those complaints in this document that we obtained. And there was a laundry list of allegations, and some of them I thought the responses made sense, and then some of them, it was August, and 5 months has passed. My math, 4 or 5 months have passed, and additional information has come out, and I'm not entirely sure that the responses hold up given the additional information we've gotten since that response was drafted.
Before you get into it, I want to point something out. We reported, and you and I were working on all these reports several weeks ago on the basis of these complaints. And at the time we published them, there was a lot of blowback. There was a lot of pushback, people claiming, that we were wrong, we were making stuff up. Well, Jen, do we now see, not only did we nail exactly what was in these complaints, but we have the corresponding documentation of Becky Hill's own response to them. So all these folks out there, and again, we're going to address this in a little more detail as this segment continues. A lot of these folks out there who are throwing these conspiracy theories out there, we're going to address that. But first of all, let's point out for the record that everything you and I were reporting on earlier this month regarding these complaints was exactly what was in them, was it not?
Yeah, point by point. And, while we haven't been able to obtain the second complaint, we only have one, we did get a good sense of what was in it prior to receiving Becky's response to that complaint. And, as she noted in her response, one was filed by a former employee of the clerk of court staff. She was the deputy clerk under Becky, and she's no longer employed. I don't know, the reason or, how she departed the staff. And then the other one was filed by a Beaufort County officer, which is interesting.
What is interesting, we're going to dive into these alleged conspiracies, because what I read in this response from Becky Hill, which, by the way, we don't know exactly, it's dated in August, but we don't know exactly when it was formally submitted by her attorneys. Obviously, we're going to continue to try to get as much information as we can through Freedom of Information regarding that investigation and regarding the adjacent attendant criminal inquiry tied to all of this stuff. But as we looked within these responses, Jen, we're starting to see some discrepancies between what Clerk Hill and some of her defenders have been saying publicly and with what is in the complaint now, even by Becky Hill's own admission. I wanted to start with one of these photographs. There's a very famous picture of Alec Murdaugh, apparently taken from a cell phone of a monitor, a computer monitor or screen monitor of some sort, of Murdaugh in his holding cell. And we were told by Becky Hill's co-author they didn't know where this picture came from.